Hello and welcome to our live stream of Curse of Strahd as presented by For the Love of Crits. I'm level 1 Dungeon Master Hunter AU. Thank you again for joining us as we continue with our hubbub of holy men as they journey deeper into the mist of Barovia. For maps, when we are using them, we are using Tailspire, a new early access program that is available on Steam. For music, I am using Sirenscape. Online program allows us to sync our audio so that we can enjoy the same soundscapes in sync. In this world for the Tailspire maps, I'm using a mix of different sources online. However, the lion's share is coming from Demongund, creator of Tailspire maps with a focus on Curse of Strahd. We're going to go around and give a little bit of an intro for our characters, and they're going to answer the question of what is their character's biggest phobia, and if they believe it's irrational or irrational. So we're going to start the night off with Graves.
Graves, yes. Hello. I'm Garion, Grand Mage Garion. I play Graves. Graves' greatest fear is not one that's come up, despite a couple things coming up. But, one thing that's said about Pharasma, often there's signs of God's favor or displeasure. Sign of Pharasma's displeasure is the feeling that you've forgotten something important. Graves doesn't remember anything. And I believe irrationally. Graves might think irrationally too, but he still has the fear nonetheless that he believes that potentially the reason that he has no memories is because that he did something egregious to royally piss off Pharasma, and he lives in constant fear of her judgment. Hence why he is like, I must never mess up at all.
If Pharasma's judgment is making you forget all things, I am doomed. Herbert, we're going to go to you next. Onyx, you're on deck.
All right. So I think that Herbert's greatest fear, though maybe he doesn't really know how to put it into words, would be losing his ability to create and think freely and sort of come up with solutions to problems. Like if he was stupefied or something like that, it would probably be shattering to his ego at the very least. But I think he also fears not being accepted as well, which is sort of why he sort of is in love with nobility and all the attention that they get and the power that they wield.
Onyx, Konareth, you're on deck after Onyx.
All right. Hey everyone, playing Onyx. The wonderful Warforged cleric is most afraid of his maker, the one that created him and used him for many years for his own desires. And there's a lot that's hidden there, but Onyx is probably most terrified of him and not being good enough to face him when the time comes.
Okay, Konareth, last but not least.
Konareth's greatest fear, I'm Cole. I am playing Konareth, the Kalishtar cleric of the Twilight Domain. His greatest fear would probably be he hasn't been exposed to many things that would cause him fear, apart from the drow attacks on his village and the effect that had on not only his village, but himself as well. So it's a difficult circumstance because he hasn't really seen many. The closest thing that he's seen was that quite coiffy character that showed up earlier on in the session. I'm not sure what his name was.
Rahadin.
The Rahadin.
Rahadin, yes. That's the closest thing he would have seen since the drow attack that took his mother. It would be... I don't think it's a phobia. I think it's fairly rational. And it's not entirely sure whether it's fear, rage, a mixture of both. It's something he's got to come to terms with because he's probably going to be seeing more.
Okay. As we enter back into our story of our lost or forgotten clerics of Barovia, we just want to place a reminder that the content Curse of Strahd, which was created by Wizard of the Coast, is notorious for being a campaign with very dark genres. For that reason, this program's intended for mature audiences, as we do use adult language and themes, and viewer discretion is advised. We thank you all again for joining. Again, we ask you to keep the chat civil, keep the chat and comments civil, and avoid spoilers for any Wizards of the Coast adventures. We're now going to be doing a recap to bring us up to speed with our different clerics. And that's me that's doing it tonight, correct? Okay. We returned to Madame Eva's tent, where our clerics had recently just come in, being told that she is going to be able to whisper them the secrets of why they have come to Barovia in the first place. Hours before our clerics had even arrived, though, we see Madame Eva sitting at her table, staring at a crystal ball filled with the mist that surrounds this entire land. She begins speaking in an ancient tongue. Givade, Givade, Givade. As she's speaking, you see figures begin to pour out of the mist, and she's like, the 4 clerics are approaching. They will be here before nightfall. But they are not alone. And she, as she speaks, you see in the fog the image of Irina come to the surface. The one adopted by Kulyane. He has raised her well, and she is now the object of the devil's infatuation. Even I cannot know if she will get to her destination safe. But she seems to have gained a connection with these 4. Particularly the Avenger. And as she says that, you see Onyx come to the forefront of it. He's walking along the road, and you can see that every so often he's turning his head to the side, talking to Irina. He is strong. I'm not so sure he's strong enough to shift the land. But he may be able to find what he's searching for here. He, along with his other companions. The charlatan, and as she looks at it, you see Herbert Lightforge on the other side of Irina. He is there having a conversation. She's like, I see that Mirabelle has found him already. Well, he is the strange one. I will have to read him further once he gets into the tent, when he's much further away from so many people in Waterdeep. There's the silent one, the innocent, and Kunerith comes to the forefront of it. He is not talking to anyone. In fact, he's kind of walking listlessly inside. It seems that he has been touched by the powers of this land already. But he was already deeply touched before that. Though he's silent now, I think that his voice will speak volumes in this land. Which leads us to the final one, the mystery, the Myrmidon. And as she says that, Graves, the final of the 4 clerics, comes to the forefront of the orb. He seeks answers. Answers that even I cannot see through the mist. He is unique, blindly following the goddess, one who he doesn't even know he is in favor with. These 4, very unique, but are still trespassers in the devil's lands. I will inform the camp that they are coming. The party, as they were traveling throughout the day, got to know Irina about her past and how she had been raised under the care of Kolyan, in fear even, dyeing her hair to avoid the stigmatization of those around her. As you guys approach the crossroads, you came upon a gallows, upon which the visage of Onyx was seen only by Onyx. He found a key similar to the one that Konareth and Graves had. You guys traveled, very quickly finding the camp of the Vistani. They led you, asking around. You find out that Madame Eva has been awaiting your party anxiously. Irina, not wishing to meet face to face with Madame Eva, stays with the rest of the Vistani in the camp to eat, drink, and be merry. As you all enter into it, the tent of Madame Eva, and she responds to each of you by name, calling you forward. She pulls out an ornate deck of cards, ones that you've only heard of in legend, but have never seen in person. A Tarokka deck, one that you know is created by the individual and hold great power of telling the fate of not just the individual, but the world as you know it. The last thing she said before we left last session was, "Come, let us see what the lands of Barovia have in store for you." Madame Eva begins shuffling the deck. Can you all roll me either a religion or a magic? Or arcane?
It's gonna be in D&D Beyond, if that's okay.
That's fine. I don't have Tailspire open right now.
Religion or arcane?
Yes. Sorry for the short warning.
6 religion. I rolled a 3.
I rolled a 4, so I got a 9.
7 Arcana.
This ain't our day, Chief. This is probably like one of the better ones to roll low on.
What did Corneth get? Oh,
6.
oh, great.
Okay. You
I got
guys see a
the
deck.
highest
You
9.
guys see a deck of cards that she's shuffling. With that, I am going to be shifting my camera a bit. There we go. Can you guys see?
Mm-hmm.
I can.
The Tarokka deck tells many things. It tells of fate. It tells of things that have passed and things that are to come, and things that still may yet be, but also may not be. It is a great mystery, and each person uses it differently. I have been looking at you all, and what I need is to have one of you pick a deck. Who would like to begin?
Graves just kind of looks to the others like, anyone want to kind of look?
She hears in her head, I will. Gunnar steps forward.
Gwynereth, yes. Please, select a deck.
And he waves his hand over the leftmost one.
My left, so this one?
My left, I guess.
So this one.
Yeah.
Okay. When I first sent you, you had suffered such a great loss as a child. You were innocent, a victim of the circumstances around you. The innocent, a being of great importance, whose life is in danger. They may be helpless or simply unaware of their peril. I cannot say. You want vengeance. But remember, one may protect their flock by slaying the wolf, but just as easily protect it by taming it. You see, you are a shepherd. Those who protect others, one who bears a burden far too great to be shouldered alone. Your answers will be found when you find those who the devil emasculated long ago. Perhaps your goals align. Who would like to go next?
Herbert has been sort of standoffish, but when he sees the way that she delivers this, he's like, "Oh, yeah, try me next. Why not?"
Yes.
And just running through his head at this point is just he's trying to find the trick of it all. He's like, this resembles to me like, you know, hustlers on the street side or something like that. He doesn't. He's not really sure how all the tricks work, but he does know that there are like sleight of hand tricks and stuff like that. So that's sort of what he's thinking about.
Okay. Choose.
Well, let's get right to the point. The one in the middle.
The middle?
Yes.
You see, there's quite a few. I must apologize to you first. For you see, your story was hard to be able to sense from such a far distance. Were you the hooded one? Were you the missionary? I couldn't tell. You were surrounded by too many people within the gates of Waterdeep. But even with all that, It was impossible to say. I originally gave you the charlatan, even if you were surrounded by the unfamiliar, mistaking that as being a liar. For you see, the charlatan, those who profess to believe one thing but actually believe another. To protect those you love, you will need strength. It is not a single person. It is not a single person you're going to find strength, though. Ah, the guild member. It makes sense. Like-minded individuals joining together in a common goal. Pride in one's work. I believe that you will find someone at some point. Someone like you, buried deep, an inventor and bringer of light.
Fascinating. Thought-provoking.
Onyx or Graves? Who would like to go next?
Do you care to, or would you prefer I?
Emotions for you.
All right then.
Graves.
Let's keep the pattern moving then. My right, your left.
You are a curious one. You are a single-minded individual. You serve your goddess without question. A true Myrmidon. For the Myrmidon, great heroes, sudden reversal of fate, and the triumph of the underdog over a mighty enemy. It bodes well for you. But you seek answers to the chaos you awoke to. What are you? What is your purpose? And who will you become, even if you don't know who you are? This chaos. Ah, the anarchist. A fundamental change brought on by one whose beliefs are being put to the test. Your answers will be found with time. Just watch for a place that looks familiar to you. And that brings us to Onyx.
Yes. Pick the
First one. Isn't this?
Yes.
Onyx. You are similar to Grace. One that I cannot tell. Are you a diviner? Or a mercenary? One that follows your master's orders? Or are you a monk? One that follows those teachings that were given to you after? It was in the searching the mist, Your life surrounds with mystery. And it's going to be a great item that you find. The illusionist. You have an enemy. One beyond even these lands. The master that you fear? You are one that I have spent much time looking over. For I've never told the fortunes of one made not of flesh and bone, but of metal and wood, mysterious like the raven. I originally gave you the card, the Avenger. With the Avenger, you seek justice for the wrong done by your master. This is why I gave it to you. The Avenger, it is given to those on a quest to rid the world of great evil. But as I said before, as I was searching the mist, it is an object of great power that you must seek in order to be able to return without the fear. The artifact. The artifact, the importance of some physical object that must be obtained, protected or destroyed at all cost. A man with a strange companion is more than he seems, and he seems to have started the search already. Now, we must talk about those things that affect all of you equally. Our deck is running low, but it will be okay. The first card. This card tells of history. Knowledge of the ancient will help you to better understand your enemy. This card, the second, tells of a powerful force for good and protection, a holy symbol of great hope. The third card is of power and strength. It tells of a weapon of vengeance, a sword of sunlight. The fourth card sheds light on one who will help you greatly in the battle of darkness. And the final card, your enemy is a creature of darkness, whose powers are beyond mortality. This card will lead you to him. The card that tells of history. The torturer. There is a town where all is not well. There you will find a house of corruption within, a dark room, full, still of ghost. Sorry, I received a message.
From the beyond.
Yes.
Spirits.
The
are
first
talking to me.
card. The card of history, of power. There is a town where all is not well. There you will find a house of corruption, and within a dark room, full of still ghosts. The second card. The one, a powerful force of good, a holy symbol. Ah, the beast. Look for a den of wolves in the hills overlooking a mountain lake. The third card. The one that tells of a sword of sunlight.
Not today.
The bishop. What you seek lies in a pile of treasure, beyond a set of amber doors. The fourth card, that tells of the one that will fight with you in your battle against the darkness. The broken one. Your greatest ally will be the wizard. His mind is broken, but his spells are as strong as his vices. And the final card, the one that will help you find your enemy that is beyond mortality. The philanthropist. He haunts the tomb of the man he envied above all. These are what the cards say. And your fate is now set in stone.
Or like just now, like if you hadn't read our future, would still have been nebulous.
Who knows? This is where things... This is the way that things will play out. As far as the cards can tell right now. Who's to say if that was determined now? Or before you even entered the mist?
Yes, I've heard that argument before, is it our observation of the universe that creates the actual universe, or is it was the universe already there before we observed it? Fascinating question.
You have much to think about. Much to talk about among yourselves. The cards that I read for you individually, I had found before. I had read before you had even entered. But these ones
Not today.
are the ones that fate has placed for all four of you within your tent, this tent today. It is late, and I must rest. Go. And she turns around and just walks to the back of her tent and, like, lays down in her cot.
Oh, well, all right. Sorry to bother you, I suppose. I'll sort of, I guess, go to leave awkwardly. Well, that was fun, wasn't it?
I'm just quite curious. I've never seen something like that before.
I've seen
Yes.
it happen on the streets of Waterdeep. There's often some charlatan that's trying to garner coin from nobility that will tell you whatever you'd like to hear for a little bit of with a little bit of theater, I suppose.
Are you saying the same about Eva?
Not necessarily. This place definitely seems to carry more weight, and she certainly knew a lot about us. So
I would also wish that what she told us wasn't necessarily what we wanted to hear either.
oh, no, it was not.
No. I know she said there are many charlatans, but prophecy and fate are indeed forces in this world. Lady Pharasma herself sometimes is seen as a seer of the future. But that's not as emphasized as her domain over death. Whether this Madam Eva's telling was truthful or not, I cannot say. But I agree, she knew a lot about us.
Yes, she knew much, and I do believe that she's got some power and insight here, so as mysterious as her ways may be, I'm sure we'll learn something from them. Although, oh, that was interesting. She mentioned the wizard mind being broken, but that he would still have to be alive to have a mind, wouldn't he?
If it's the same wizard who is at least
Well, I
presumed
guess.
that they have not, I believe they said they never found his body. It could be a different wizard, but
I suppose, yes.
with him being such a powerful force before we came and his disappearing, I suspect not. I suspect that it was an illusion to him.
I mean, how many wizards could there possibly be? Like, in the whole world? Like 100? You know? Like, and then how many could come here?
I mean, I'm not really sure how many there would be. Magic uses quite a bit, but I guess it depends. How do you define wizard?
Yeah, I suppose a wizard is sort of someone at the pinnacle of arcane study, in my opinion. I've seen many magic users.
Yes, that's
But-
fair, because I would not consider any of us wizards, despite the fact that we are able to bring forth magic, but ours all stem from the divine. Regardless, we're focusing a little bit on one card.
True. What was the there's a blade of light or
Something.
of the sun or
Sunlight.
something?
Is that
Sunlight?
perhaps, she mentioned for you wanting some sort of artifact. Do you think perhaps, because she called it a blade of vengeance or whatever, and seemed to focus on that concept for you as well. Do you think perhaps this sun blade or blade of the sun, whatever she called it, is the same object?
I don't know.
Oh,
It sounds useful either way.
I mean, sounds a bit silly, doesn't it? Though, like what are you gonna hit them and they're just warm, like a little bit warmer?
I mean, but it's probably more of a name than actual description, such as like
Hmm.
some sort of powerful magic sword, I assume. Maybe it has a holy enchantment of radiant energy that could be construed for sunlight or fire.
That sounds like someone made that up.
A blade that produces light wouldn't be of any use to me.
I mean, a blade itself isn't the most useful for me. I'm not that inclined in close combat.
It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it.
True. I'd probably rather one of you had something like that.
Sounds fun. I'll have to take notes on its design if we ever do manage to find something like that.
Well, what do you think about the last bit?
The philanthropists?
So we gotta, according to her, there's a town of not well, with a house of corruption, with a dark room and lots of ghosts.
That doesn't sound anything surprising to me from what we've seen of this land, though.
Right, that can be anywhere.
Yes, that's what I was thinking as well. Is that Barovia where we came from? Is it Valaki where we're heading to? Is it another town? Is it this camp? I could see that being anywhere in this land.
And then there's a
Stone.
pack of wolves with a den overlooking a lake. No
There's
shit.
a lake. Yeah, well, we've seen wolves.
We're not.
And
we're
there
right
is
next
a-
to the lake now.
Yes, there's the lake by the castle is a pretty large one, I think. Is it just those wolves in the mist? Is there some other significance?
Well,
I mean, I thought-
there's
I
gonna
thought-
be wolves near the lake. That's a water source. Like, that's typical.
Well, yes, but aren't the wolves like Strahd's like servants or something? I thought they worked for him somehow. They killed that messenger, which obviously seemed like it would have been in Strahd's favor.
And seem to be involved with the mist that have been bringing us here. That seemed to be, I think, some sort of a manifestation of Strahd's will.
Or maybe
It
the
did seem-
dumbass got off the road to take a leak, and that's when they attacked because wolves get hungry.
They seemed pretty plainly
Oh.
savage to me.
They did, yes.
Apart from the fact that they didn't attack us on the road.
Yes, say there's something odd to whether it's the wolves themselves or the land. Or both. This land is very weird.
But the people also said that the wolves were attacking the manor. There were like things were attacking it, like wolves and stuff like that.
Undead.
Undead. So, but I guess I assumed all the wolves listened to Strahd, I suppose.
And then a wizard's gonna help us, as well as a philanthropist who haunts the tomb of his enemy.
No, the philanthropist was how she was describing Strahd.
Was it? Oh.
I thought the
Yes,
philanthropist flipped.
Philanthropist was for our enemy.
I thought it was
Oh.
they were going to lead us to our enemy.
I thought it was describing the enemy.
Hmm. She did say the card would lead us to our enemy.
Maybe you're right.
So-
I could have misinterpreted.
Could be either way, I suppose. But I'm more concerned about the first card, I think, is because didn't they say there was we were headed towards somewhere where it's deeply corrupted?
Was that
Did
the
they
first
say?
card?
I thought so of the last
Yes, that was
bit.
the first card. That was something about history.
History, yes.
History of the land. I'd say it could be happen anywhere here.
Was it my individual one that was the man with a strange companion has more than what he seems?
I believe so.
I think so. Yes.
Okay. So the group one is house corruption with ghosts.
Yes.
Didn't we already do that?
Oh.
I mean, yes, but that one wasn't in a town. It referenced in a town.
Aren't the
It was near a
the
town.
ghosts would be inside a room, but like the ghosts that we saw were all outside,
Thirst
Yeah.
man.
right?
Do you wonder if
Oh.
maybe
Oh yes,
any?
no, there was a couple. Yes.
Do you wonder
sorry.
if anyone else in this campus has experience with Madame Eva's readings and might be able to give us a better picture
Ah.
on what she's trying to say?
That is an excellent idea.
Yes, let's
Because
find
my
an
head is
interpreter.
spinning.
Yes, let's go find someone.
Interpreter! Interpreter!
As you guys are going along,
This guy with a strange companion pops up.
all right, so you guys enter back into the camp. While it is late, there are still a decent amount of them, the Vistani, mulling around. Few are staggering, as they have drunk quite a bit. And you see that Irina still is around the smoldering embers of the fire, speaking with the old woman that had originally spoken to you when you first entered the camp. Irina glances over and sees you. Oh, she makes eye contact, but it appears that she's deep into the conversation that is taking place there.
I wave.
Irina waves back and smiles. The first time you've really seen her smile.
He got the hots for Herbert.
Oh. Yeah. Probably not.
Yeah, he's a strapping man.
I mean, he's got a charisma of 8. So,
Hey,
I don't know if
low
that tells you
charisma
anything.
characters deserve love too.
So, what do you guys do?
Herbert's not too excited about finding someone because he's just thinking, from what the conversations that he's had with the Vistani before, they're just as cryptic, if not more cryptic, than Madame Eva has been, or they're so plain that they doesn't really make much sense of it. They would just sort of take the first interpretation, I guess, is what his opinion is.
Okay. So, I want to make sure I understood correctly. You're just trying to take in the camp, correct?
I'm just following everybody around, sort of keeping quiet. Maybe trying to think of tricks to teach Mirabelle if she's interested. So I'm just like,
Mirabelle, she did had not she had entered the tent with you, correct?
yes, I believe that's what she said. Yeah.
Yeah, because
No.
yes, she had responded. Mirabelle actually is kind of she kind of nibbles at your ear, and then she's actually going to, once you exit the tent, she's going to kick off from your shoulder and she's going to fly off into the distance.
Forgot that Mirabelle was a bird for a moment, and I was like, she enters the tent with him, is nibbling on his ear. I'm like, wait, what's happening here? Right, bird.
Yeah.
No, just my arm candy. It's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yep. Bye. See you later. Wonder where she's off to. But I suppose if everyone's just sort of milling about, then Herbert would probably head over to the fire towards Irina.
Okay. I just blinked. Had this woman given you her name yet? I don't believe you guys asked her about
The
it.
old
Don't
woman?
think so.
Don't think so.
Yes.
Not that I remember, at least.
Okay.
She's now Doreen.
As you approach, Irina looks up. She's like, Herbert, you're back. Did you all find the answers you were looking for?
Well, as I suspected, I think we have more questions now than answers, but at least we have more information.
I've mostly been talking to Sophia here.
Oh, Sophia, nice to meet you. I'm Herbert.
She kind of grabs both of your hands and she's like, you must be starving. The soup is still warm in the embers. Please. And she kind of gets up and she begins ladling soup into kind of a mug and holds it out for you.
Oh, thank you. Yes, please.
This woman, she kind of is hunched over. She is, her wrinkles are so strong that they're almost forcing her eyes shut. And you can tell that she's missing quite a bit of her teeth as she's ladling. She ladles another one and she's like, come, eat. And she waves to the rest of the party.
Take a sip of the stew and see how it tastes.
It tastes quite good. It's very earthy, I guess. It's you based on the taste of it, it tastes like it's game of some kind, like a deer or some type of wild game. You can't really place it.
Authentic, like country food, you know? Like the stuff in Waterdeep is just, it's all the same, you know? It's homogenized, pasteurized milk, and all the potatoes are just russets for days. Like there's no other kind of potato except for a russet. Could you, like, hello? Anyway.
As you, and she just kind of smiles and she's holding out the second mug of soup. Does anyone take it? I know Onyx does not need to eat, so I'm assuming you do not.
Graves also does not need to eat, so he'll just kind of sit down, but kind of just to give a little hand, like, oh, I'm good.
I have to go up and take it.
He's the other one that needs to eat.
She smiles and sits down, and she's like, yes, I was talking with your companion here. Alenka is such a nice girl. She said you are all helping escort her to Valaki?
Yes, Alenka is going to Valaki. Yes.
That's right.
Well, it was nice of you all to offer. It's dangerous along the roads.
Certainly is. Although we haven't encountered any danger along the way so far, but had some certainly interesting experiences, I would say.
Oh, like what?
Well, I don't know if it's really my story to tell. And I'll look over towards Onyx. But, you know, people see things, I suppose, and it's a bit harrowing out there.
Onyx does not pipe up.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, no. Herbert doesn't want to tell your secrets for you, but he's just talking and he says too much sometimes.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah. Like this one time on the road, it was pitch black, like it clearly seems to always be, and there was these two glowing red orbs, and then I could tell that it was like a wolf, and then it disappeared into the mist.
Oh, yes, dangerous things can happen. It is best to. It is best to be careful as you travel along. Where did you see this wolf?
I suppose it was somewhere close to the gates of Barovia.
Hmm. Well, certainly interesting.
Have you heard of such a wolf? Is there like a legendary wolf that lives in that area?
One could say that it
Oh.
is not necessarily in that area alone, but there is a legendary wolf that lives in these lands.
Oh, is there?
Ask her if it
Yes.
oversees a lake.
Does it?
Sorry?
And
He even like holds his hand up to his mouth, even though he's talking to you telepathically.
Oh, does it live near a lake?
Well, there are many lakes in Barovia.
I suppose. Are there any in particular of a particular note aside from the Sarah pool here? This is like a pool below a waterfall, correct?
Not today.
Not today.
yeah,
Not today.
that goblin-like voice during the readings is like perfect. The
Yeah.
whole
Let me switch back to the encampment so it's more along the lines of the right sounds.
Not today.
So let me see. I'm pulling back up the map. See, there are a few lakes in Barovia. There's the Sarah pool, and she kind of gestures behind her. She's like, it is one of the small lakes. And it does have waterfalls up ahead by the by the bridge along the road. You will likely see them tomorrow as you're traveling. There's Lake Zarovich. It's probably the biggest lake, and it's north of Valaki. And then there's Lake Baratak. It is in between Valaki and Kresk. The other one I've never been to myself is called Luna Lake. And it is far south of Valaki, following the Luna River.
Well, easy to find, I suppose. Is the river close to Valaki? Or does it run close to Valaki, perhaps?
And she's squinting. She's like, yeah, I think once you pass through Valaki, there is a bridge, and the bridge that it crosses over is the river that it's crossing over is Luna River.
Oh, okay. Well, then we'll know where it is. Well, that's
Yes.
interesting.
I don't know too many people who go to Luna Lake, to be honest. So
Is
it
there...
should still be there, but perhaps it has dried up.
Well, I suppose if the river's still running, wouldn't it still be full? Or,
I imagine so, but you never know.
I guess.
The lands of Barovia, though small, constantly shift.
Do they? That's unsettling, I suppose, but interesting.
Yes. But it is the nature of it, and why we are always on the move. As Vistani, the Serpool has been a land for our safe haven for quite some time. And Madame Eva, she protects us.
From the Lord Strahd or from the land? I don't suppose there's a difference.
No, they are one and the same. Madame Eva is ancient. Much more ancient than I am. She knows things, as I'm sure you can tell.
Certainly does. She had some interesting predictions for us.
Oh?
Well, I suppose I'm not sure how to sort of sum it all up in a few sentences, but could I just sort of summarize what she told us about the cards? I don't know if there's
Yeah.
necessarily any secrets that we would want to keep from the Vistani here, because Madame Eva is the leader of the Vistani, and she just gave our reading, so...
Are you asking the party at large?
Yeah, I'm asking the party. Like, if Herbert starts spilling the beans about, like, everything, is anyone going to jump in and be like, "Bah, bah, bah, bah"?
No.
Yep, well, then I will
I
summarize.
just said their leader's the one that said it, so.
Yeah. So I'll summarize what the cards she laid out were, and because Herbert is a lot smarter than I am, he'd probably be able to recite absolutely all of them.
So, um, me. So it seems you went in there with more questions than you had answers before.
Certainly came out with more questions answered.
That is usually the way most travelers meet Madame Eva. She is a seer, one of the ancient ones. She knows much, but sometimes I think it's difficult for her to understand how little the rest of us can see. Oh. I don't. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I suppose it would be difficult to, shift your perspective if you've grown accustomed to viewing things from afar, I suppose.
Yes. Were you going to say something, Conner?
No.
Oh, it sounded like you started to, so I want to check. Yes, imagine trying to see an ant and view things from its perspective.
Onyx gets down on the ground and puts his head down.
Yes, give it a try. And you'll notice that the ants would be below even your eye level as well. So it gives you a good perspective, but not a perfect one.
Yes.
It stinks. I get back up.
I use prestidigitation to clean the dust off of him.
Well, I only think that those, I guess, hints, mysteries, They do not seem familiar to me. The wizard I had mentioned earlier, but his body was never recovered. But Madame Eva knows much more than anyone else. I'd have no idea where you would begin to search for him.
Suppose we could probably start by searching the river that he disappeared in, but that would bring us awfully close to the castle, would it not?
Yes, so I had gone to the River Ivlis to look for him myself. And it would have been after the falls. For you see, you can't see beyond those trees. And she points across the river. She's like, Castle Ravenloft is, as the crow flies, that direction. And the river goes down. He was thrown from the precipice to the Sere Falls itself. As you follow the path tomorrow, you will see the Sere Falls. So you will know maybe perhaps where to look for him.
Oh,
Well,
wait, so if he was tossed down the Sere Falls, then wouldn't he end up in the Sere Pool?
No, the falls are downriver from the Sere Pool.
Oh, yes, of course. Understood.
yes, from my thought as well, with the impossible zone. First of all, the river, it's obviously been searched. But from my understanding, wizards aren't normally healers. And his head is not his body that's broken, but his mind. So would it not then perhaps make sense to look in the towns? Perhaps he was found, but whoever found him, whether it be a town or some other place of people, and I mean, because his mind was broken, they healed his body, but are just unaware of who he is.
Well, that's certainly possible, but a lot of people seem to know about him.
True.
He sort
But how
of
would
did
they-
a whole raising of an army, right? So wouldn't people recognize him?
Yes,
Depends on how far he went.
I know if I saw him, I would recognize him immediately. And my memory is not what it used to be.
Well, there could also be, instead we know of like Granny lives in a small windmill. Sisters, there could be other areas that were remote enough that they didn't know him. There's just a
Damn
thought.
barkeep, isn't it?
Perhaps there's a druid living in the woods or something. I'm not sure.
What did he look like? Could you describe him?
If you describe that damn barkeep.
He looks slack-jawed, overweight, thick
No,
forearms.
he was thin.
Oh, good.
He had a piercing stare.
Oh, definitely not this guy. We're good, guys. We're good.
Yeah.
He had a beard, not a full beard like you would see many of the lumbermen or hunters have.
Like this? Like I point at my goatee.
Yes, similar to that.
Oh, okay.
And he could drink. Aye, he could drink. And she kind of chuckles, her eyes wide.
I see. Okay.
He's one of the few that I've seen outdrink not only our best drinker, but our best two drinkers.
Oh, well,
I would have expected
impressive.
something more like that from more like a barbarian or something, not so scholarly inclined.
Yes.
But
He was an interesting fellow. I've never met one like him.
Got a question.
He seemed...
Got a question.
Yes.
Can I outside a game?
Oh, okay.
Can a Warforged drink? I know they don't need to,
So-
but can they?
I would say yes, because you have still like oil and organics.
Yeah.
I would leave it up to you if your master would have given you the ability to drink or not.
Well, I mean,
Does your mouth actually move when you talk, or do you have like a
I imagined it.
speaker?
Yeah, I imagined the mouth moving, and maybe he was
The alcohol.
smart enough to make it so I could blend in.
Yeah, I was
Well,
gonna say
because you have to be able to drink potions.
Yeah.
True.
you
The
have an
alcohol
inlet.
just kind of like dilutes the oils and such in your body until it gets pushed out. So you can basically become drunk by like the oils just like being diluted and you're not getting all the energy you need to your brain.
Yeah, so
you have anymore.
Slows
basically,
everything down.
basically, I would imagine that you would have like an acidic mechanical stomach that is able to kind of like, if you digest something like oil or health
if things-
potions, it
if
breaks
things
it
get
down
in
and sends
you.
it where it needs to go.
Yeah, you also have to like, if things just get in you, like just particles in the air are eventually going to build up. So like you got to have some sort of system to deal with that kind of stuff.
It works.
Alex wants to get drunk now.
Well, if I can get drunk, my plan goes out the window. If I can't get drunk,
Oh,
then
you're gonna
we'll
try
be easily able to beat that record.
to like I can drink I'll drink all of you.
And maybe also prove that the wizard was a warforged or something
Yeah,
in disguise.
Yeah.
or reborn.
So I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna find myself. I'm gonna leave the party and just kind of find myself an ale. Come back.
So where are you going to go search for an ale?
Just around. Like I just stand up and start walking around. Like, and once I find one, I'll just come back. So
You find none, only wine.
Have you drank before, even?
nope.
You've never had occasion to, so.
Okay.
We did get some drinks in the Blood on the Vine tavern, but I don't know if we actually drank anything.
I didn't partake.
Yeah, you didn't. That's true.
You were just watching the guy be like, "Are you an idiot?"
Yeah. Okay.
Stop being so
Honestly,
dumb in front of me.
I probably would be looking for like that big keg, where they pour out the ales. If I don't see that, then I'm like, oh, these people suck, and just come back. Or they haven't restocked their supply after they drank so much.
Do you ask
I don't ask.
Sophia for it at all?
Nope.
Okay.
I literally just walk around. I don't see anything, so I come back and just kind of.
What was being talked about right before you? Oh yes,
Wizard.
the wizard.
The wizard, yes.
Yes, he could drink, but I don't remember too much about him. He wore strange clothing. He, like, not like traveler's cloaks. He wore bright robes, I guess.
Sounds like a wizard, from what I've heard.
But also like you folk, right? Didn't Stanimir wear brightly colored robes?
Yes, but yes, Stanimir did. And you would know the Vistani do wear brightly colored clothing.
They're just generally flashy.
Yes.
don't
His
know.
was different though. Ours are red or bright color cloth, but his almost seemed to shimmer like metal.
Ooh. Oh, I wonder if you could make a metal so thin it could bend like fabric. Oh, that would be fascinating.
And hence, Herbert invents tinfoil.
Yeah.
I made new armor.
I just keep making it thinner and shinier. cares?
Still metal. It's still metal.
It's still metal.
I'm going to wager that maybe his clothes were magic. He was a wizard.
But maybe it was created through magic of some sort.
That's fair.
Ooh, that would be fascinating. If you could get the density and power and tensile strength of metal to be as flexible as cloth, oh, it would be fabulous.
Mithril.
Yeah.
Grace probably has no idea what mithril is. They're just carrying.
I mean, mithril gets close, but I mean, like, you still have to, like, it's still a hard metal thing. You know, just like, it's light as a feather, honestly. It's great. And I might be able to work and fashion with it if I had enough resources and time, but I might even be able to make like a chain shirt or something like that, but you know, wouldn't even come close to something like cloth-like. It's similar, but it's not the same. But he's just gonna nerd out if nobody stops him.
As you're nerding out, you do see Irina yawn.
Yeah. Well, it has been late, I suppose.
Yes, we need to get ideally leaving early in the morning to get to Bolaki.
Yes. We have some extra tents that we can set up quickly for travelers, and the woman kind of like snaps, and a few of the nearby men that were kind of drinking off the edge, they see the elder snap, and they immediately come to her attention. And as you guys remember from when you had visited the previous Vistani camp, they have extreme respect for their elders and pretty much listen to whatever they say. She's like, Dimitrov, set up tents for our guests. How many will you need?
It's 5 of us, so 2, 3. I mean, I want to give Irina her privacy, but you know, we obviously still want to protect her as well. So
3 it is then. And she nods, and the 3 men kind of go and they start grabbing stuff off one of the wagons, and begin setting up tents in between 2 of the wagons. It shouldn't take them long.
I have a question. Irina's loadout. She has a weapon, a short sword or a long
Correct.
sword. Okay.
She
Does she have a
blade.
shield by any chance?
does not.
Okay.
So I guess she would have like a long sword.
Long sword. Okay.
I believe it was, because she doesn't have a shield, so she can. It's like a hand and half sword.
Yeah. And then you said a breastplate as well.
Yes.
Yes, and I have enchanted that breastplate.
Yes, I remember.
Onyx, do you think one of us should, since they're setting them up between 2 wagons, and the 2 of us, my friend, don't seem to need rest the same way as the others, do you think we should position either of us at either side just to keep an eye out?
Yeah, that sounds like a smart idea.
I just realized you asked for 3 tents, so each of you have 1 person in each.
Yeah, because like I reckon that like Graves and Onyx are like, I'm just gonna like sit outside.
Oh my word!
Graves would like sit in like the opening to a tent, just like looking out. But
He's just stretching out in his tent all by himself.
My Discord
Onyx
so I don't
goes
know what
to-
happened.
Onyx goes to Conera's tent and just like opens the flap and sits down in the entrance staring out.
Graves just does like basically the reverse of with Herbert's tent, sitting near the and looking at the other side, sitting right by the entrance of Herbert's.
So, with that, I mean, Herbert and Conereth, you guys don't need to set up watches, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think so.
I'm being watched.
However, I do need all 4 of you to roll perception checks.
Oh boy.
And this isn't specifically for the right now. This was just at one point throughout the day.
I did have something I wanted to ask about to do tonight. I would like to use one of the gold rings and lay it out and use my channel divinity to create a shield out of the golden ring, because it is metal.
Okay.
It's worth
And you're
50.
able to make it of equal value.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I did look it up. Shield is worth 10 gold.
I'll allow it.
So I'm
That's
just
Could you
gonna.
just like couldn't you like basically like just take 10 gold coins and like just shield now?
You could, yeah, but I mean, I don't have that many gold coins, to be honest.
Yeah, more just theoretically.
Well, and the ring is a significant drop in value, like to the shield. Like you could sell the ring for a lot more than the shield's worth.
Yeah, I mean, the value that you gave me was 15 gold.
Oh, was it? Okay.
So, but I mean, it could have more value to someone who, you know, particularly needs it or wants it. But yeah, I'd just like to sort of sit there and focus and create like a golden colored shield that's like, it's just a simple buckler that's like just like a pure sort of gold sort of half sphere or something.
Is it actually gold? Or
No,
is
it's not
it
actually made out of gold. It's just gold colored.
okay? Because I was like,
Yeah, that would be
Kind of
incredible.
worth 10 gold, my boy.
it's like, here, I took this tinfoil off this baked potato. Defend yourself. It's
But like gold, could have like a gold plating over it.
Yeah,
Where, like the meat of it's actually, you know, a sturdy metal, but
yes, it's a legit shield, but it's you know, it carries over the sort of the original sheen of like what created it in the first place. So
that
it's
makes
like
sense.
maybe enough gold from the ring is left over, and it just like sort of coats it thinly, like because you can pound gold out insanely thinly.
Yes, like gold foil, like
Yeah.
or gold leaf, yeah. So yeah, I would allow that. So you now have a golden colored shield, that is, as I'm understanding it, kind of shaped like a saucer, like a sled saucer.
Just just very simple dome shape to it. Nothing particularly inlaid on it,
Basically
like on its onset.
This, but plain in gold.
Yes. Yeah, no symbols or anything like that. Very much like that. But I will bring it to Irina and I'll say, here, you can use this if you need it. You know, it's...
She kind of looks surprised, like you pretty much the equivalent of like, oh, here, and you just reach into your backpack and grab out this huge shield. Like she had never seen you carrying this before.
Yes, I made this about 5 minutes ago.
What? How?
Oh, yes. Well, my faith allows me to craft things magically if I can channel divine force into an object. It takes me an hour, but if I'm able to divine how it's created, then I can manifest an item of up to a certain value of...
That's incredible.
Well, thank you. But you know, I'd like to use it for other people's benefit, so I'm sure you can use this.
I've only fought with a shield a few times, but I was trained. So even if I don't carry it myself, I'll keep it on my back.
Of course, yes. You never know when you might need it.
But we don't have very many, I think, like metal workers? I don't remember what they called them.
Oh, blacksmiths?
Yes, we don't have very many of those in Barovia. So,
That's unfortunate.
yes, we kind of... A lot of things as they get broken are just set aside. Or, and never really fixed.
Well, that's a damn shame, I'd say. There's a lot of value in things that are broken. You know, we all need a little help sometimes to get back on our feet.
Well, thank you, Herbert. And she's going to kind of carry it into her tent. She was in the middle tent.
And I'll let you. I could like personalize it too if you want, like make any changes, whatever. But you know that could come later. Just get used to it now.
And she kind of nods and thanks, Herbert.
All right.
So, Irina goes into her tent, and she goes to sleep. I do need all four of you to roll me the perception check, though.
Yes, I rolled.
We did, and most of them are bad.
Yeah, I got. Wait, where did I get? A 9.
I got a 10.
Don't want to answer.
Okay, 1. If you
No,
don't
it
answer, it's a
wasn't.
1.
It was a. Where's mine? 9.
So 9,
And Conera?
9, 10.
Nerith got 18.
Ooh, Corneris. All right, and with the rest, we are going to take a short bio break. I don't think we'll go too much later to when we come back. Majority of the time was going to be devoted to the fortune telling. So I'm just going to have to switch around my setup as we are transitioning over.
Oh, awesome.
All right, be back shortly.
Thank you for, and welcome back. We left our party as they were beginning to rest within the Vistani camp. One of the last things I had our party do was roll perception checks for throughout the day. As they go throughout the night, though, the night goes uneventful. There's not very many animals aside from the occasional owl that flies through the trees. The Vistani sleep throughout the night. And Onyx and Graves are left alone with their thoughts, watching and waiting to make sure that Irina is safe throughout the night. As you guys, as the sun comes up, but instead it just gets generally lighter in the area as the overcast skies have not opened up and have been unrelenting. The Vistani get up, many of them holding their heads from the night before, but still continuing to drink wine as they go around the camp, starting fires and preparing for the next day of revelry. I do see that Josh and Garion are in there. I do have Tailspire open now. I just realized that. Just so Cole and Alex know.
Yep. Give me that.
So
10 seconds. All right. I'm in.
okay. So as you guys are kind of waking up, Irina gets out of the tent. Who was in the front of the tent near the entrance?
Nobody of hers.
You mean to enter the tent?
Yeah, like who was watching, I guess, outside there?
They Graves and
During their
Onyx
sleep.
were on like the two sides of like the general area of the tent. I don't know
Okay.
which one's which.
All right, she would probably she would crawl out of the tent. She's carrying her armor. She obviously wasn't wearing it while sleeping. And she's going to kind of stand up and stretch. And she's like, "Good morning, Onyx."
Morning.
Ugh.
Sleep well.
No. I miss my bed. And she kind of like stretches a bit, and she's obviously in not necessarily pain, but definitely sore.
Say I understand, but I don't.
Well, what time is it? And she kind of looks around. She's like, without having the village to kind of tell the time, it's hard to tell out here.
After sunrise, but before nightfall.
How are you doing, Graves?
Graves at the other side, just like sitting down, like reapplying his like eyeshadow and like lipstick that he has with like no mirror because he doesn't like mirrors. She's like doing it all just like this, and it's like going on perfectly. He's like, "Oh, I'm all right. Not much of an eventful night once we went to bed."
Pardon me for asking, but why didn't you sleep?
I have not slept in a few months now.
Oh,
I'm not quite as I appear. I don't require what most people do in terms of sleep and food and the like.
okay.
I'm I'm made of flesh and bone like yourself and the others, but in some ways I have similarities to our friend Onyx here as well.
And you don't need to sleep then either, Onyx?
I don't. I need to kind of recharge whatever it is that powers me. So I need to kind of not do things for a while. But
Yeah.
I still stay aware. I'm still here. I'm just not moving.
Yeah, it's similar for myself. I don't necessarily sleep, but I sit and I meditate, try to recall what I can, but it's normally rather boring.
I guess. Well, certainly, um, an oddity. I don't know if I know anyone else who doesn't sleep.
I've not met many, but I said my body has been strange ever since I woke up that night and bow shot. Don't. So I suspect myself and Onyx are the same in many ways in that respect, where we don't sleep or eat or drink or breathe.
I think he's undead.
I sort of yawn. Oh, did I?
Oh, you're good.
I sort of yawn bigly as I come out of my tent, and hearing the end of this conversation, I sort of say, I don't know if that sounds like a blessing or a curse, honestly. If I had to sit still for that long but still be aware, I would probably go crazy myself. But
Same
I'm
with
not like other people, I suppose.
no. For me, I try to say remember, see if I can remember anything, but normally nothing. So it is rather boring.
But I do wish I had a lot more time in my day, too.
Coming out of his tent, maybe catching the end of this conversation too. Getting a stretch in. And yes, but as long as you can avoid night terrors, nothing cures an ailing mind like a good rest.
I'm sorry, that you have to deal with that. I hadn't considered that.
Well, it's not a common occurrence. But
That's comforting to hear, but, just know that we're all here for you. I'm sure it doesn't really help much, but probably the most we can offer.
Say at least the good thing about not sleeping is that myself and Onyx both don't have to, so you two can just sleep the whole night when we're camping out, and we can keep watch for you.
Honestly, it's pretty nice. I really do appreciate it, honestly. I
Convenient.
feel so, rejuvenated and ready to go here in the morning, honestly.
Almost as if you could cast a full complement of spells.
Oh, yes. I feel like I have this inner reserve of magical energy that's fully replenished.
I'm just happy I don't need to eat or sleep or smell for that matter, because it means I'm not smelling every time you fart in your sleep.
Mm.
And trust
I
me,
do
we know every time.
I do smell, unfortunately.
Sucks to be
In
you.
both senses. I don't think it's been a while since I've had a bath. Not a couple days at least.
You guys just having this conversation right in front of Irina?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
she's one of us now.
One day of traveling. All it took.
Yep. Trust her completely.
Now, listen, you gotta let loose at some point.
Hides her hair, isn't who she says she is. Yep, trust her completely.
Yeah.
Graves is now just looking down as well, like the makeup he just put on, like that actually maybe I should have bathed in the water here before I did this.
Oh, I can help with that actually, and I'll cast prestidigitation on everybody and clean everybody up. Because that's
Um,
how he's been taking care of himself.
That's
You
very
actually might
useful.
notice.
Also,
As he sees you like do a sweep over everyone, Kenneth quickly puts up his hands. He's like, "No, no, no! I enjoy this tradition," and makes his way off toward the river.
I will not. I will not cleanse you if you indicate such.
I wanted to clarify because I did make a mistake with the direction of the river, so I wanted to amend that. The Sare pool the water is flowing into the Sare pool.
Okay.
And so
Sarah Falls.
the Sare Falls flow at the bottom of the falls, the Ivlis River flows into the Sare pool. So
Extreme.
yeah, I accidentally gave the wrong direction of the falls. I wanted to correct that before it got too far down the road. The map was somewhat confusing as it doesn't give the flowing directions, so I had to look it up.
Fair enough.
Go. All right. So Konerith, you are taking a bath or bathing, I guess.
And yeah, he like finds as private a space as he can and derobes himself and gets into the river and bathes quite slowly. It almost looks like a practice rather than just cleaning himself.
Mio Graves just like does like his eyeliner, like black lipstick, paints his nails, and then pulls out like a straight razor and starts like doing like the stylizing on his beard and stubble with like just completely freehand without looking it.
Nice.
Why he does this? I don't know. He just does. He doesn't know why. Mainly because I thought it looked cool on his mini.
I mean, if he's a reborn, maybe he's got some like decaying skin that he's trying to hide. Maybe.
Maybe he just likes his appearance. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's something. He does it.
He does it.
Yep.
Certainly does.
I forgot. I didn't want to interrupt you before when you mentioned the direction that Strahd's castle was in. Did I clock that in any relation to the direction that Mirabelle flew?
Roll me
direction or
roll me a because you didn't know the direction of Ravenloft.
Yeah.
Actually, no, you would just know. She did not fly in the direction of Ravenloft. She actually kind of flew along the path that you're going to be traveling, towards the Sare Falls, as far as you can tell.
Okay.
So.
Gotcha. Very well.
He's just scouting ahead.
Hopefully. Just
Other than bathing, does anyone else want to do anything or ask any questions at the Vistani camp before we move forward?
I think Herbert would just like to enjoy a nice breakfast with warm food, and be ready to be on his way.
Okay. So as you guys are packing up, some of the Vistani, they do kind of see you. Irina is putting her cloak on, trying to be more inconspicuous as she is traveling. Let me pull back up my travel calculator. Let's see. So you guys are at the Vistani camp. And you are traveling to the Sayre Falls. You see one of the people that spoke to you last night, and he's like, "It's good that you are up early. It is the next leg of your trip is probably a good day's walk, half a day's walk from here."
Oh, that's not too bad.
No, you are unfamiliar with these lands, correct?
Yes, not from here.
Okay, and he kind of look. He's like, so you follow this path, and you'll pass under a bridge, and then you'll need to continue following path, and the path will meet up with the road that the bridge connects to. Do you understand?
Follow the road, yes.
Yes. So
And we'll cross a bridge.
no, you'll cross under a bridge.
Cross under a bridge, and then we'll go over the bridge. Or it connects to the road that connects to the bridge. Okay, yes.
Yes,
I
yes,
understand. We won't cross the bridge. We'll walk under it. Yeah.
yes. No, cannot cross river. There you'll have to go up, around, back to the top of the bridge. Long walk. It's high up there.
We walk under the bridge, then we turn around,
Yes,
and then we go over the bridge up high.
yes. It will probably make more sense once you see it. It's hard to explain.
I think so. I don't take directions well, I'll be honest.
So, once you cross the bridge, you come to gates, big gates with big statues.
Oh, we've
Near.
seen gates with big statues before.
Oh, yes. There's two of them. One far near the entrance to the valley. Other ones near the entrance to castle. Be careful, castle. Be careful of the castle. He kind of leaves it at that.
Understood, yes.
I would recommend getting past gate before camping.
Very well.
And wolves. Be careful of wolves.
Oh, yes.
And
Do they stay away from the road, or do they not care about the road? And do you know anything about that?
they just be careful of wolves.
Be careful of
And-
wolves. Understood.
Yes. And be careful of like being attacked. And careful
undead.
of
Wolves?
yes. What?
That was, I guess, more of a mental thing.
Yes. Be careful of wolves, madmen, like ghosts, I guess. Just be careful. There's a lot out there.
Yes. Yeah. There's ghosts everywhere. We've already met several.
And he kind of makes like a symbol like across his chest. And he's like, well, no. You go before it's too late.
All right. Ta-ta. And I guess we head out.
He's Conderith, you would have had run into no issue trying to find a place to bathe. The water is cool, but kind of makes you feel alive at the same time.
Just wake up.
Yeah, I think even if magic existed in the real world, I wouldn't want to just get washed with prestidigitation. Like, I'd want to rinse with water at some point.
Yeah.
Corneric doesn't have prestidigitation, but in now knowing that Herbert has prestidigitation, he dons his like underclothing, like there'd be like a shirt and some like shorts or loose pants or something like that, and does a quick wash of all of his outer clothing and just takes them soaked over to Herbert and is like, "Can you dry these for me?"
Really? Just do like hand jet and just sort of dry them with prestidigitation.
Can you dry clothing?
I know you can clean and soil stuff. So I guess you could clean the water off of something, right?
Yeah, I'd allow it. I was like, that'd be hilarious. It'd be like, no. I hope.
It's one of those things where it's like it fits within the spirit of the concept. If you were like, "Oh, I'm gonna clean all of the water inside of someone's body," you'd be like,
Yeah.
"Okay, whoa."
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like I would allow that under the rule of cleaning. That if it was wet, like, yeah, you're bringing it back to clean condition.
What I can also do is, I can also warm it up. It's a different. I can chill, warm, or flavor up to 1 cubic foot of non-living material for 1 hour.
Taste it.
So I make them dry or warm.
Not only can I
And you're
dry
like, lick it.
lick it.
Trust
And
me,
it
it's
tastes
good.
like beef jerky.
And with that, Corneric dons his clothing, nice and clean now.
Mhm.
He feels clean. His clothing feels clean. He feels refreshed. He had a good nap. This is great.
Okay,
All
so-
the head south.
You guys are traveling along. Actually, see, I need to do this first. I need someone to roll me a flat d20.
Oh boy, I have not been rolling well today, but I don't think anyone really has.
Nope.
Only
Except for maybe Corneric.
yeah, Corneric did.
You want to do it, Cole?
Here we go.
Okay.
I mean, par for the course, though.
And then
See, I've
so-
been rolling well, so I shouldn't have rolled.
See, depending on your opinion of random encounters, that could be good or bad.
and then I also need every person just for the this is going to be just a thing that we do at the beginning of each day. I need everyone to just roll me a flat d20 and give me the amount. And that'll be at the beginning of each day when you guys do a long rest.
12 for Corneric.
2.
And then 2 7s.
Yep, I got a 7.
So Graves, you were 2.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not rolling good today.
Onyx and
Luckily, it hasn't been combat.
okay,
That's
so
okay,
Onyx
get all my
and
roll-
Herbert were both 7s.
Yeah.
Get all my below 10s out now, so that I'm
Exactly.
rolling high tomorrow night.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah, when you're DMing.
No.
Alex is like,
Hey,
yeah, wait, no.
My players on Sunday are going to a big boss fight against an undead that they're creating.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
One of the players is becoming a lich, so
Fun.
Well, there.
yep.
Do
Also
they know?
3,000 feet. Yes,
Okay.
it's a pirate campaign. They're also currently 3,000 feet below the surface of the ocean in an abandoned underwater city.
Well, there.
Exactly. It's the time to
Alright.
kill them.
So, you guys are traveling along. It is a basic dirt road. Nothing really is out of the ordinary. It's actually a very pleasant walk. The path is pretty well trodden along the path of the river. The river Ivlis is flowing behind you as you travel along. This is going to be like I said, it's about a half a day's travel, so about 8 hours. Because it's
Like normally
Alright.
8 hours is how long you travel in a day, and then like another like chunk to do like your setting up camp and everything.
Yeah, you kind of have to rest a little bit more because you're like it's
Yeah.
constant effort. So you
Yeah,
can
like
only really
a full
do
day travel is 8 hours.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
every hour and a half, we're taking a little break, and
You gotta set up camp, you gotta get food and a fire.
lunch
Yeah.
comes around.
Yeah. Do your spell preparations in the morning.
retile your backpack stuff. It's getting loose.
okay. Yes. Okay. I did.
Retell your bathroom.
I did read it correctly. It is about a day's travel or a half a day's travel, so it's about 5 hours. I was looking at the slow speed. I was like, "What the heck?" I thought I had it right. So the slow speed would be around 8 hours. The normal speed is around 5.
Mm.
So, where you guys are traveling, you don't run into any animals or anything like that. You do hear, as you're walking along, though, the sound of rushing water ahead increases in volume. I'm going to bring you guys over. You follow the river to the base of the canyon. Let's see. You follow the river to the base of a canyon, at the far end of which...
You tried to summon a...
It said that DM tried to pull us, but the board couldn't. But we
You
couldn't
found.
find specified board.
It worked for me.
Yeah, it brought
Yeah, it
me in too.
Didn't bring me in either.
Can you guys try to manually travel over? It's called the CH2H Sarah Falls. That's 2 below the camping grounds.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay. So, you follow the river to the base of a canyon. There we go.
Always dark.
At the far end,
Well,
at the
of course
far
it is.
end of which a great waterfall spills into a pool, billowing forth clouds of cold mist, and a great stone bridge spans the canyon, nearly 1,000 feet overhead.
Oh, looks like we're getting close to the falls.
I
I think I understand the comment about it taking a while to cross the bridge after crossing under the bridge.
Yes. Where is my... Oh, yeah. Yep. So what is... Gotta go around here.
I've heard of the falls, but I've never actually seen them, so...
Magnificent, really. You think about the amount of power that is being generated by these falls. Like, water weighs a lot, and when it falls this distance, there's kinetic energy that's frankly wasted, in my opinion. You could really do something with this with the right piece of machinery.
So, as far as this map, you guys are free to explore. This is more so just to kind of help narrow down like the scale of it. Obviously, it's not to scale, but it gives you more of an idea of how big these falls are. As you are walking forward, you remember part of the story that that Sophia had told you in the camp, in which she said that thunder shook the mountainsides, great rocks tumbled down upon the wizard, and they fought at the Sare Falls, with the river Ivlis below, and he was thrown 1,000 feet down to his death.
Oh, well, I suppose, if we have a little extra time, maybe we could search around here for some sort of clue or something.
I mean, there's no reason not to, I suppose.
Well,
Just
he said to get past the gates before camping, right?
That's true, yes, but, it's only going to take us about 5 hours to do that, so could use it'd be a little extra time, right? Or am I misunderstanding this time thing?
I don't know. I'm not familiar. I'm familiar with the locations. I'm not familiar with how long it takes to get between them.
Well, they said it would take half a day, so, if we delay for a little bit, then it shouldn't be too bad. As long as it's
Yeah.
not like more than half a day.
True.
Is there a path up that we see? Or is it we're gonna be climbing?
Roll me a perception check.
Yeah, if we can climb up, that can save a good chunk of time.
I mean, I guess I could make us some climbing gear.
22.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. So you do see that there is kind of a pathway, and it's a steep pathway, but it does kind of wind up to the top area, but it will take some time to walk up it. But there is a connecting path. It's not like you have to climb up the side of the mountain.
All right, well,
If you were wanting to make it more secure, I mean, I have a hammer. I don't have any pitons, but I do have this. I know, Herbert, you can make different things. I have this mace that I never use. If you wanted to make it into something useful.
yes, I could certainly repurpose that metal for something else. I mean, I could make something like a climber's kit. Be a significant investment. It's worth roughly 25 gold, I believe.
Yes, this mace is only worth 5.
It's just
Really?
single-handedly scaling the mountain.
It would only be a one-person sort of deal for the 25 gold. So,
We'll go one at a time.
we could,
Overall,
so-
it would probably still save us a
I mean, how
long time.
how high are these cliffs? Like hundreds or thousands of feet? Like,
Rules as written, it says 1,000 feet above.
okay.
So
I mean, that's
Him's big.
it's very tall up there. You do not have a rope long enough to
Yeah.
drop down to the other people. The
Yeah.
story does tell that the wizard and Strahd were fighting on the top of these falls, and he was thrown off of them.
yeah.
So, and not necessarily into, like, he was just thrown off of the falls. So pretty reasonable that people would assume he died.
Yep.
So there is the path, but do we want to risk it or do we want to just keep going?
I mean, we might as well take the safe route, right? Because, I mean, if we all had a climber's kit, I think it would be fine. But I would need days in order to create one for each of us. So, and it would be a significant investment as well. So, it seems foolhardy.
All right,
If we
we can
want to
just
risk it, we can. But
we could then, as we just said, spend a few minutes taking a quick look around, and then keep going.
yeah, I
Should
don't.
be an established path. I'm not practiced in the skill of climbing. I feel like it'd be a risk.
Yeah.
Yeah, just follow
I-
this path, guys.
Yeah, I'd rather take the path. I've never climbed mountains, let alone one that big.
Yeah. Seems like something you'd
Okay.
want to be mentally prepared for as well.
Yes.
Not
Well,
something we should do on a whim.
in that case, we'll break for about I don't know, half hour or so. Have some lunch. We can look around for any clues as you were thinking, Herbert. It's my suggestion at least before we keep going.
I found a way up. You just my arrow.
Well, you can walk up anything with just the arrow keys.
No, not anything.
Really?
Yeah, because there was definitely a spot where I'm like, I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to get past this. I finally found a way.
Nice.
Okay.
Do you want to investigate?
I would
Yeah.
like to investigate.
I will help you. I have a +3 investigation. I probably better serve by giving you advantage though.
Yeah. I'll also cast guidance on myself. Oh shoot, I don't have the
What are
extent.
we investigating?
I'm looking around for clues about this wizard character that was tossed down the falls. I don't suspect that I'll find anything profound, but
Yeah, you can.
While we're having lunch, might as well.
So
Might as
yeah, you
well.
can roll me an investigation check if you're just kind of looking around. It did happen about. I'm going to warn you. It's going to be it's a super high DC because it happened like 6 months to a year ago.
yeah. Well, with my
With
plus
advantage?
+5 to that, so it's a 13.
Okay.
That's with advantage.
You
and
look
guidance.
around and you don't see anything. Like, you wouldn't be able to tell that a battle had taken place here at all, especially from down here. You're like, maybe if I went to the top of the falls and looked for signs of magic, I might see something. But from down here, you have nothing.
Yep. That's fair.
It's a nice jungle.
It's misty out here. I can't see anything.
Oh, there's a bug in my eye. There's a bug in my eye.
Maybe we should press forward before the evening overtakes us.
I mean, it's only lunchtime right now, Buter. We need to eat. Or you do. I don't. I think that was the plan. Like, we were gonna stop for lunch and look around. We've only traveled a few hours.
Are you, how long of a rest are you guys doing?
I don't know, like half an hour is my thought. You know, your normal kind of lunch break.
I mean, if a half hour is like good if you're just gonna house like a ration or something like that, but like if you want to like relax, you should really take an hour.
Get a short rest.
Pushing for that short rest when he's coming right off a long rest. Our
Yeah.
guy's freaking Icarus.
Yep. I mean,
You
Just
guys,
saying.
I'd already rolled for the encounter, so you guys are good for now. As you are going,
Yep.
the are you guys after you do your rest? Are you guys traveling on?
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll soldier on.
Okay, so you get to the top of the falls. You can see that's a fairly wide open area. You do still see the walls of mist. They're much further away, but you do see them off in the distance. And it kind of gives you the sense of you can't see the horizon. Like, it just, the end of the world is like right there. And it does give you a sense of claustrophobia,
Yeah.
where you're trapped. You get to the top of the falls and you continue traveling down the road.
What is the temperature like where we've been traveling?
Temperature. Let's see. It's cool. Like, you definitely wouldn't like it. You would not be sweating profusely. It'd be 45 degrees Fahrenheit.
Ooh.
It's like, it's to the point that if you were not wearing layers and you weren't walking, you would be cold, but it's not like you're going to freeze to death. Let's see.
Gotcha.
Gotta go convert that to Celsius.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing now.
It's 7.
In Celsius,
Yeah,
it's 7.2.
Yep.
Yeah, it's chilly.
Yep. Not freezing, but it's chilly.
Yeah.
Chilly.
And I imagine it's just moist everywhere because of the mist. So it's like, it's cold
Yeah,
and damp.
it's cold and clammy and damp. So you guys are traveling ahead. You see the gates far in the distance, near what appears to be a fork in the road ahead. Even here in the mountains, in the forest, the fog's inescapable. Ahead, the dirt road splits in two, widening towards the east. The road, you see that there's patches of cobblestone, suggesting the eastern branch was once an important thoroughfare. Parked at the fork of the road, pointed east, is a large black carriage drawn by 2 black horses. The horses snort puffs of steamy breath into the chill mountain air, and the side door of the carriage swings open silently. And that's where we'll end tonight's session.
Very fun.
Oh, do we snub him or do we go?
Yeah, because you guys are walking along the road, and you're probably like 150, 200 feet away from this carriage
Gonna
at this
be
point.
that dusk elf guy.
150, eh? Fireball.
Well,
Level 3
yeah.
fireball.
I hope it's just Rahadin again. Could
Well,
be
we'll
worse.
find out in the next session
Oh, man.
who or what it is as we continue with our Forgotten Clerics of Barovia. Thanks so much for joining, and I'll see you guys in 2 weeks.